Sorry.
Yes, I'm used to it, but not in Sussex. Yeah, it's my first speech on such an issue like fracking in Sussex. I delivered speeches on nuclear in other places of the United Kingdom. Thank you, Paddy. Now better?
Yes.
Sorry, Dave.
Now better? Yeah. Okay, rehearsal. So, first of all, thank you for inviting me to Sussex, because this meeting with the anti-fracking movement is my first opportunity to speak in a public meeting in Sussex. And second point, it's really nice that you organize the sun for us. So it's not only a signal for spring, it's also a very, very nice symbol for the energy model which we are fighting for. I met Paddy together with José in Poland by chance. José and me had meetings with with those so-called fractivists of Żurawlów, a city in a village in the east of Poland, close to the border of Ukraine, and he immediately said, if we met by chance here in Warsaw, this is a sign. We have to continue those meetings. We have to get organized on a European level with all those anti-fracking protests in Europe to make a difference in this battle against unconventional gas and oil fracking. Now we are here. I tried, based on my experience in the anti-nuclear battle in Gorleben, a place in Lower Saxony in Germany where I live, I tried to give some ideas on how to continue, and maybe some of them I will repeat here. First of all, here is already a movement. This is very good, because if you challenge an industry like we did with the nuclear industry in Germany, you must be strong, yeah? And obviously it's given already. Second, you have fun. This is also visible. And without fun, I can tell you, in Gorleben we would not have survived our movement for 35 years now. And then you must be smart. I saw this morning some nice videos on very creative, non-violent actions to show why you are fighting against shell gas. I was shown by Paddy some videos of people who blocked Total gas stations. This is so exactly what you have to do if you want to focus on the problems. Yeah? So with non-violent direct action to show what you are concerned about and how strong your concerns are, so that you are even ready to do such actions. Second, yes, information matters. So you can't talk enough about the problems you are seeing. Talk. This was a Gorleben and anti-nuclear experience over the decades. And always, if you think we have said it already twice, say it for a third time, why you oppose fracking. Third point, so I came from the movements to the parliament. When in Gorleben in the year 1977, the nuclear industry helped by the government of Germany decided to go for the dumping of all the nuclear waste in my home region, I, with especially farmers from my home region, we organized the citizens' movement. It looked pretty much like what I see around here. Yeah? We were not really political people. We wanted a sustainable development for our region. We wanted to be farmers, gardeners, etc., and we did not want the nuclear industry. We later on discovered that it's not enough with the direct action. We organized more and more protests also in the capitals of our country. We went to Hanover, we went to Bonn, later on to Berlin. I think there's no way around to bring your protest to where the decisions are made. And what also was very, very important, we decided as a movement that, yes, we can grow, we can be strong, but we need also people who pick up our interests in the decision making and in the law making. And this is exactly what, since 10 years in Europe, I'm trying to do. 10 years before I did it in the European Parliament. I think so movements need a kind of arm in the parliaments. Otherwise, you can grow, but the decisions will be made without you. This is maybe not the most beloved point in the discussions of movements, but think about it. And the last point I want to make, we had the experience in the anti-nuclear movement. We had a strong challenge with the nuclear projects foreseen in my home region and in many other regions of Germany. From the very beginning, we had this nuclear industry as the no chapter in our program as a movement. But from the very beginning, we had also the yes chapter in our program. For example, we never only said nuclear, no thanks. We said always Gorleben soll leben. So Gorleben shall be alive. Gorleben needs the future. And to this slogan, we also developed a positive energy strategy. So in the very beginning, you might remember the very, very small wind turbines and strange things how to warm water with the help of the sun. Today, if you look on what we have as renewable technology, as efficiency technology, this all started in my country based on the ideas of the anti-nuclear movement. So there are those sunny alternatives, and I can't believe that in the United Kingdom people can stick to the old energy model based on nuclear and fossils, because this is exactly what's happening. Hinkley Point C stays for the nuclear option, and fracking is the prolongation of the fossil age. So take care. If I can help you later on, if I can help you by cooperation, if I can bring you some smart ideas from direct action groups in my home region, I will always be ready to help. And especially also, this is the positive side of this region. I'm a gardener by profession. I have seen already this morning. I have to come back because of the gardens.
All looking at me, looking at them. It's muddy. I'm going to feel like a hippie with
It's really a pleasure to be here, to be in the street in front of Quadrilla. I hope the next time I come back, those things don't exist anymore.
Yeah!
That Quadrilla is going to get out of this place. So this, I think that we are here to say that. But we are also, and I'm a little bit ashamed, as French, to be here, because we have two big companies who are arriving here, okay?
Not your fault.
Which is EDF with nuclear energy and Total with shale gas. Before I left France, I gave an interview and saying to the director of Total, Mr. de Margerie, we put you out of our area when you wanted to put shale gas. If you go to UK, it's going to be the same. Yeah. all the regions to put you out. We have been able in France to have a law which forbids fracking all over the place. The companies now no more can frack in France. And that's why they try to do it in another place. So as French people which have been fighting against shale gas, our responsibility is to be also with all the other people who are fighting all over Europe, but not only in Europe, but also in South America and in all the places where the mobilization is beginning. This is not only a local or national or European movement, it's an international movement because we say this has to stop. This has to stop. I've been fighting so for quite a long number of years, and I had the chance to win quite a lot of fights. The first fight was in my place my farm, where I've been fighting against the French army who wanted to take our land to make a military camp. And of course, it seems impossible to win against the army when you are only farmers and you have only your tractors and your hands. But with the support of all the people all over the France, after 10 years of fight, army had to get out. So that shows that everything is possible if you only want it. If you want to go until the fight, until you win, it's possible. That's why I want to tell you this very clearly. It's possible to win against the companies as it was possible to win against the army. We had the same problem when the GMO came in France as in the rest of Europe in the middle of the 90s. If we had been accepting that, in this moment, all the land was be covered with GMO corn. That means that organic agriculture or traditional agriculture should not be possible anymore. And we said this is not possible because we need the choice and the consumers need to be able to choose their own food and to have good food, and this is very important for everybody. And that's how we begin also non-violent direct action. Of course it was difficult because we went many times in front of the court because we were cutting each time we can, we were cutting the GMO corn. Of course, there was a lot of police. Of course, we went very often in front of the court, but also we were put in jail. But each time somebody was in jail, there were more people in the field to cut corn. That means very clearly that you don't have to be afraid. The first thing you have to win your failure because it's impossible to fight somebody who is not afraid anymore. And if you are not afraid, you can do very big things. And each time police is going to take you to bring you in jail, you're going to smile and say, that's good for the movement. That's good for the movement. And I'm not sure that they're going to be able to put 1,000 people in jail. But maybe this could be a good thing to do. To say, okay, you want to put us one in jail, we go 100. When you put 100, it's 1,000, and so on and so on. This movement has to be bigger and bigger, weeks after weeks. You need to be able to create at the national level a real movement with people coming from different kind of people. You can have alternative people, green people coming from other places. That doesn't care. What is important is to gather the more and more people to be able to change the decisions at the national level. When the politicians will be afraid to lose their place in the parliament, they're going to change the way they think. Yeah. And you have clearly to make the debate at that level too. You're going to have elections at the European level, but also at the national level next year. We have to say, you have to say to all the candidates, Are you against fracking or for fracking? Do you accept to ban or not? If you don't, we'll put a big mess and your name is going to be in the front page of the newspaper. And we're not going to elect people who want to go on with fracking. This could be a form of action. What I think also is that at one moment, this morning I saw people here from a lot of parts of UK. They were gathering, we had a meeting to try to discuss about strategies. Maybe at one moment, in few weeks, in few months, I don't know. But we can already say that we're going to do it. What I can propose to you today is to say, next time, we're not only going to gather here in Balcombe, but the next big mobilization with more than thousands and thousands of people, we're not going to do it on the countryside in Sussex, but we're going to do it in Downing Street. And I promise you that we're not going to be only 2 MEPs there. We're going to be more, and all the groups from a lot of countries are going to come to support you. Because for us, UK is now really a symbol, as Poland, of this fight against shale gas. So what I want to tell you to finish is that you are right to fight, and you have to win this fight. It's not possible to lose, not only for you, but it's also for the new generation. But it's also if we want to fight against climate change. Climate change is really the most important issue for the future. And we're not going to be able to win against climate change if shale goes on. So we have to stop the companies, and we have to stop all the politicians who want these companies to go on working. This is a message also for Mr. Cameron. Mr. Cameron has to stop his support to these companies. This is part of the work. This is a social fight. It's a fight of everybody, but it's also a fight against all these people who support these companies. I hope that we're going to win here, and I'm sure we will. We'll always be together, and maybe we can organize in the future also a European coordination against shale gas here in Balcombe or another place in UK. But I think now you're in the middle of the picture, and you have to stay there until the victory. Thank you.
I love the microphone. Here you go. Leader of the Green Party in the UK.
Well, it's lovely to be back in Balcombe. I was here for the first time on day 5 of the camp, and it was a lot smaller then than it is now. And then I was there about 2 weeks later, and I saw how it had grown, and how people from all around the country had come here to support the anti-fracking fight in Balcombe. You had and have the support from people all around the UK. Some of them are here today. Let's give them all a hand. And what today marks is a big step up. What we're doing here is starting to assemble a whole Europe-wide movement against fracking. And some people across Europe have already run their battles, like the French, like Jose said. But they've shown they can do it, and they're now here to help us too, and we can do it.
Yeah.
And there's actually a Harvard University study that provides some interesting evidence on this. It's a Harvard study that says fracking is big in the US, and it will never be big in Europe. And it talks about the different geology, and it talks about the different geography, but above all, it talks about the different politics of Europe. There's people in Europe prepared to fight. There's movements in Europe ready to stand, like the anti-nuclear movement before us, all kind of movements. They've got the tactics, they've got the ideas. We can adapt and learn from them and invent new ones of our own. Now, I think many of you, well, I think everyone will know that David Cameron last week put out some bribes. He's trying to offer money to communities or councils that will accept money to have fracking. I think that's a really useful thing to think about. What does that show? One, it shows his desperation. He is losing the argument.
We don't want his money.
And second, he's showing how, you know, when you're a kid and your mum said, if you drink this medicine, we'll give you some, you know, a sweetie afterwards. He's actually demonstrating how bad fracking is. If you've got to have to bribe people to take it, then obviously there's reasons why they don't want it. And the really interesting thing is there's so few people on David Cameron's side. We had 3 reports out last week on fracking. One was from BP, those well-known and dreadful greenies, BP. And they said, shale gas will not cut carbon emissions. That blows that argument out of the water. And then there's a city investment firm, and I have to look this up because I confess I don't know them very well, Bruin Dolphin, and they said shale gas will not cut gas prices. So that blows Mr. Cameron's argument on that out of the water. And finally we had a study from the Institute of Mechanical Engineers, and they said 47% of people in Britain definitely don't want a shale gas well within 10 miles of their home.
85 in Balcombe.
I know the Balcombe figures are much higher, but you've had more time to think about it than most of the country has.
100%
And only 14% of people said they did. So the fact is, David Cameron is losing the argument. He has no arguments. But we know that logic and facts don't always rule things in politics. You know, in the Green Party, we believe in evidence-based policy making. Unfortunately, it's pretty thin on the ground in lots of other places. But we've got those arguments. We've got the power of the people like you today who've come out, people who are today up in Barton Moss fighting the fight. Yeah, as everyone's saying, when you next get the chance, get up there and give them a hand. Okay. Okay, I'm going to finish now because the sun's about to disappear and we want to soak up that solar energy while we get the chance. So we know now the battle is on. We've got all the arguments on our side. We can win. We must win. We can win this fight in the UK and across all of Europe. Let's go out there and do it. Thank you.
Yeah!